guys, welcome back to Arena 254. Like I said, I'm bringing you closer to your stars, and this time we are talking about young leaders, and from community projects to voicing their thoughts on societal matters. These youths are a beacon of hope for Kenya, if not Africa. These are the young leaders, and these are their stories. And I really love this particular story because it's a story of MIDI Minds Kenya, who are a collective of electronic DJs who went all the way to northern Kenya in Samburu, collected sounds and vocals from the local community, the Samburu guys, and then fused these sounds with electronic music. And if you guys already know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of electronic music. So this is really cool, and I'm really excited. And they're gonna be having an event that's gonna air a documentary on this whole journey. But before that, I have a trailer for you guys to see what exactly I'm talking about. Check it out.
Music is one of the most powerful things the world has to offer. No matter what tribe or religion or nationality, it has the power to unite us. This is what we pursued when setting up the Sounds of series. The trip to Samburu left no expectations behind. We went with the flow and all of us opened our hearts.
So if you guys want more, you have to go down to the event. But right now, I'm joined by one of the DJs, Pwizak, who is one of the most prolific electronic DJs in Kenya, and you are part of the story. So tell us, Sounds of Sasab, that's what you're calling it. And I was just asking what Sasab means. Is it like a place in Samburu? What is it?
It's a flower from Samburu, and Sasab is our host for the project. They have a lodge out there, and they basically have amazing access with the local communities. They run community projects. So when this idea kind of came about 2 years ago, as you know, we play a lot of music that has samples, but we didn't know the origin of these samples. You know, we'd find them online and, you know, we'd use them and credit, but we were like, where are these samples coming from? Who's singing them? What is their story? So we set out on a journey where we were like, let's, you know, try and highlight and record as many of the 44 tribes we have in Kenya and build a sample bank so future generations can listen to them. And as we do this, how can we raise revenue and so on to, you know, to make them realize that your voices can, you know, be heard? Because, you know, the arts in our country haven't really been pushed. And if we can have a sample creating exercise where we can record them and they see like, oh wow, there's, you know, something coming back to the community, I think that's what really ties the whole project together.
Because I think I got a snippet of it off your SoundCloud. Someone had sent me a link. And I just found myself really, even just picturing you guys convincing these people. Have they, first of all, have they heard like part of the finished project?
So basically what happened is, when we went there, we were like, okay, how are we going to record these guys? Because, you know, they're not used to seeing mics, you know? And the other thing is we didn't want to go there with an electronic beat and be like, sing over this. So what we did is we had like a party. We had some goats, sodas, you know, we just invited them, you know, told them, guys, you know, like, even me, I'm like, you know, come enjoy. This is our story. And we're just going to set up these mics here. You guys just record. So, you know, we just press record and like for an hour or two, they just keep singing. And I think once one of them had seen what was happening, they called their friends from the villages and then a crowd started gathering. And, you know, they all became comfortable with us as they saw us more. And that was the first time we went about 2 years ago. And then the tracks went out to about 30 producers. And we received 19 tracks back. And that was when we were like, guys, we have to go back and throw another party and now show them their own voices. And when we went back there and we set up this little event for them and they heard their own voices back, they were like in shock because they'd never heard their own voices in any form of medium, on a speaker or headphones or anything. And in fact, taking us back to the recording part, we had the headphones on them, and as we played the voice back, I clearly remember the elder man was trembling, you know, and he was like holding the headphones like, you know, this is my voice. And then one of the elder ladies actually broke down. Like, she couldn't believe it. So, you know, as much as we set out the project, as we went along with it, we got to experience so much emotion from their side.
I can only imagine.
And for me, I think that's been the most fulfilling part of the project. That we actually managed to record them and went back and showed them the finished project. And they, you know, they had nothing but smiles and
you know,
laughter.
I love the fact that you're celebrating the tribes in Kenya, because slowly and slowly as the years go by, we sort of forget that we had this beautiful, rich culture. And we'll find guys at the Alchemist singing South African music, Nigerian music, you know. And we're like, but what about Kenya? There's such beautiful, rich culture from there. But how did a bunch of cool kids from Nairobi decide that we're going to the wilderness? And that's where we're gonna get the music there? Because I know you're three of you, you're three DJs. So it's you,
me, Suraj, and Dylan. We form Billy Minds Kenya. And we all have our strengths in terms of, you know, music production, sound engineering, and putting things together.
And which role do each one of you play?
So Suraj and Dylan studied music production in university. So they bring the more, you know, nerdy side of it, you know, making sure the recordings are good and everything. I studied international business and finance, so I kind of bring that thinking to the table. And also, my sound experience and DJing is from the University of YouTube. You know, literally like...
Every millennial, we are very
the greatest university.
Ivy League University, you know. And I think that's where I've learned a lot of it. And when you have two friends who've also learned about this, it helps. And I think this is another thing for young people who want to get into the arts or whatever. Form a collective. You know, form a collective. You like, there's an African proverb: if you want to go far, go together. You know, if you want to go fast, go alone. You know, like, so take your time and build a good crew that you trust and have your different strengths, so you can actually achieve your goals.
Awesome. And you just mentioned that you studied finance in that line. And there's a beautiful aspect to this entire project. All the proceeds that are coming from the royalties of the music are going back to helping the community. So tell us about that.
So there's two parts to the funding side. The event tonight, which is happening at the Alchemist, it's 1,000 bob entry. Every single cent from that goes towards building the local school a classroom. Because when we went there, we asked first we had to ask the elders for permission to record. And we asked them, what are your struggles? What is something that you're really lacking here? And it was, one thing was educational infrastructure. And we visited the school when we recorded the children. And that's when we were like, look, with an event and the proceeds we can normally get from an event, this is viable. You know, this we can raise money from an event and they can start the construction. So that's from the event tonight, and that's why we've been really pushing for people to come and say, you know, your contribution goes towards a classroom. Now, the 19 tracks that came out yesterday, the royalties from that will go towards a teacher's fund. And, you know, royalties you get every couple of months. So it'll be consistent revenue to help train teachers, to help give them the proper kind of infrastructure they need to now pass on knowledge to the kids. So at least we have one that's short-term funding for the classroom, and then we have continuous funding. However many people buy the tracks for as long as it goes back to that teacher's fund.
Arrhenius, are you taking notes? So see, enjoyment killer side. You're also meant to be helping the community.
And so I know this year you guys have gone down Samburu. Are you planning on going anywhere else as well?
So this is why it's the first episode is called Sounds of Sasab. But the Sounds of series for us is not only Kenya. We want to highlight indigenous people around the world. We can go to other places in Africa. You know, Uganda has beautiful people. South Africa as well. Brazil. You know, South America. So for us, this is really a stepping stone into something much more bigger, where we're merging traditional music with electronic music, but the original samples that are recorded are going to be part of a sample bank. You know, imagine where your great-great-grandkids can walk into the National Museum and put on headphones and be like, this is what the Samburu tribe sounds like. You know, instead of just hearsay. So we want to try and build that, and I think this is where the next phase of the project, finding partners, you know, getting, you know, good funding from, you know, different boards. Tourism fund, government. You know, this, I mean, something like this should be, you know, good for the government as well to
and
kind
will
of
no
highlight.
longer be known just to be Kalenjins and
There
are other people in this country.
Exactly. So I think it's time to celebrate voices and and again, create something that the next generations can be proud of.
Yeah, and now I just want to repeat what you said. So you're gonna be launching the documentary today at The Alchemist from 8 p.m. So tell us about the partners you've had and how this event is gonna look like.
Yeah. So I think, like what I said, even though the three of us had this idea, this project could not have come to reality without some of our most instrumental partners. And I mean, I have to really, really, not even thank, but, you know, really say from the bottom of my heart, like Backdrop Production, the amount of hours they've been put in. Like, you know, some of us have not slept this whole week. Till yesterday we were there, you know, trying to finish it. You know, some of the partners are still there. You know, and amongst other hosts, the Safari Collection for hosting us there, Bunsen Travel, Tribe Hotel, who's hosting the artists. You know, we've got Madoris in the House, which is the Greek label that this project is coming out on. All of these partners, you know, have come together, you know, just by us sending an email, and, you know, without even hesitating, they'll be like, no, not only do we want to be part of this project, but we want to really make sure you guys get the best possible, you know, product. And that's why today from about 8:30, the documentary is about 10 minutes. We'll have a screening with, you know, some media people and close friends to get feedback. And then, you know, we'll plan to now eventually launch it online for, you know, partners and stakeholders as well as the rest of the world to see exactly what this project is about.
Awesome, I love it.
I have a suggestion for you. I think you should approach Kenya Airways and put your trucks. I know they're usually quick to getting. I think you can have it in the in-flight entertainment. I think that's somewhere it could.
Anyone from Kenya Airways?
Take the camera. And
call me.
Now, speaking about the documentary, I just wanted to shout out, and I think I told you this before, the guy who's actually shot the documentary, Sami, amazing work. He's been, like, I've seen some of his work and how he is profiling Kenya and showing the beauty that is. I think it goes by Battered Lens on social media. How has it been working with him?
You know, I think he is my favorite French person in the world. Like, he's just such an amazing guy. I mean, his eye for, you know, storytelling and the way he shoots things, I've never seen anything like it. And as a creative, I think we needed someone like that who can bring the sort of experience, you know, he can bring to the table. And when we approached him, we were like, look, we can't afford you. Like, you know, this is a project. But he was like, guys, it's not even about that. It's just about, you guys have so much passion for this, you know, and I think he saw right through that. And we're hoping that, you know, we can work on the rest of the series with him, build a better relationship. The thing is, a project like this has never been undertaken. So we've learned so much along the way. We've, you know, had like blood, sweat and tears. And we've taken all of that as the whole team with Backdrop Production and MIDI Minds. And we know now, okay, for the next one, this is what we need to do to make it, you know, clinical. We can't be taking 2 years, and this needs to be done in like 6-7 months. So, you know, scheduling now, getting the right shots and so on is why we have someone like him on board. And, you know, for someone who, he's just honestly one of the best videographers personally I've seen. You can put him on a world stage and I honestly feel he'll give anyone a run for their money.
I have a question, like, why MIDI Minds? Why did you guys call yourself
MIDI Minds?
I
think so. MIDI is it's like it's a musical term for a controller, which you can basically record notes on your computer. And
music school.
And so we were like, you know, we needed an outfit to you know, start putting this. And MIDI Minds is about pushing the boundaries of sound production in Kenya. We host workshops. We've done a workshop called Femme Electronique, where we want more female DJs and producers. We've hosted workshops on music production. So that's where the minds came part. Like, you know, let's use this outfit to provide all the knowledge we've learned to, you know, let's say, even if it's someone who's not as privileged to learn about music, if they're, you know, really want to progress, come to our workshop. We'll invite you, ask as many questions. You have our details. And, you know, that's where it came from. So MIDI, sound, minds, the knowledge, and Kenya, our home.
I love it. I love it. And thank you so much for coming through, guys.
Thank you.
Alchemist from 8 p.m. And also go down to SoundCloud and check out the album. It's Sounds of Sasab. And I've listened to the album I might be biased because this is my kind of music. She always says I hate on Pekejeng music, but it's because I feel like even just looking at the story and listening to you talk about it and the passion, I think that's something to get behind. So,
thank you so
guys,
much.
Ni 1002, tunaweza kutana mkutano town. I know the direction. I could take you. And where can we find you on social media?
All my handles are Fuzak, F-O-O-Z-A-K, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Facebook. And MIDI Minds is just MIDI Minds Kenya.
Right, and don't forget Sound of Sasab. So make sure you're checking it out.
Yeah.
Chito, are you coming with me to the Alchemist?
I was there before you.
He's part of the
Wow! But thank you so much for
having
through.
me. Thank you.
And say hi to the crew.
Yes.
Guys, Tuonane. It's happening today, 8 p.m. Alchemist. And so much more coming through as well. And we're going to continue talking about electronic music because I had so much fun last Saturday and you guys need to watch that. But Slim is coming through with amazing music as always. Make sure you're talking to me. Text me 21222, email feedback at mediamax.co.k. It's at arena_254 Ebra. I'm Sharon Kate Ganga, Chiton Lovu, DJ Slim 254. Talk to us and stay tuned.
Thanks.